Trying to navigate the markets these days can feel, well, a bit like sailing in a hurricane. You've got headlines screaming about inflation, recession, central banks. It's just so easy to get lost in the noise. So today, we're going to cut right through all of that. We're going to give you a clear, data-driven framework to understand exactly what's going on with the economy. Let's jump in. All right, here's the game plan. First, we're going to simplify the whole economy down to its two main drivers. Then, we'll dive into a really powerful tool called the 4 economic seasons. After that, we'll use this model to figure out where we are right now, check out the warning signs flashing in the data, and finally, try to answer that big question: have we actually hit the bottom yet? So, first things first, how do we make sense of all of this complexity? Well, the secret is to pretty much ignore most of the noise and just focus on what really truly matters. And this idea from Ray Dalio is our North Star. I mean, think about it. You can forget the thousands of data points and news alerts you see every single day. At the end of it all, it just boils down to two things: which way is economic growth heading, and which way is inflation heading? Are they going up or are they going down? That's it. That's the whole game. Now, here's the really crucial part. The market doesn't actually care if growth is high or inflation is low in some absolute sense. What it's obsessed with is the rate of change. Is the economy accelerating or is it decelerating? Is the data getting better than we thought or is it getting worse? It's all about the momentum, the direction of the trend. That is what moves markets. Okay, so if we have our two big drivers, growth and inflation, and each one can either be speeding up or slowing down, that gives us, what, 4 possible combinations, right? And we can think of these as the 4 seasons of the economy. This framework is seriously powerful for figuring out what's going on. First up, you've got recovery. We call this the economic spring. This is the sweet spot. Growth is starting to pick up steam, but inflation is actually falling. It's kind of that perfect Goldilocks moment where riskier stuff like stocks and tech just tend to take off. Next, we roll into expansion, the economic summer. Now things are really heating up. Both growth and inflation are accelerating, and while the economy feels strong, that rising inflation starts to become a problem. This is when assets like commodities, things that benefit from rising prices, often do really well. And then comes the slowdown, or autumn. This is a super tricky spot to be in. You see, growth is starting to fade, it's decelerating, but inflation is still stubbornly high and accelerating. This is that dreaded stagflation word you hear about. And honestly, it's a really tough time for most investments. And finally, we hit contraction, the economic winter. Now everything's going down. Both growth and inflation are falling. This is when recession fears are at their peak, and you see investors just run for safety. Defensive plays are the only game in town here. And here's where the rubber meets the road. Each of these seasons has its own playbook. In the spring,